Hey, this is Mark Washington, MTC Media. So Danny Hurley is upset because he got caught on camera, you know, basically saying, I won't clean it up and paraphrase it. I'm sure people who follow this knows the exact quote, but basically it was, you need to pay attention to me during timeouts because I'm the best coach in the sport. And again, I'm cleaning up how it was really said because don't use some of that language on here. And I'm not shocked. I'm not shocked by any of this. And that's one of the things I try to tell people all the time. When you start, if you're paying attention, if you're going to games and paying attention, you see it, right? If you're looking at the more distinguished coaches. Once you start covering it, and I have going on now 14, 15 years, and covering meaning credentialed, you see it all the time. You know, one of the things I tell people this all the time with Duke, when Mike Krzyzewski was coach, there was a conversation every time up and down the floor. There was a conversation every time out. Every single time out. And it went back to a statement a buddy of mine said a long time ago. He said, the NBA, where players complain about every call. College basketball, where coaches complain about every call. It is basically the same. It's just one comes from the players, one comes from the coaches. And the one thing I will agree with Hurley on, people don't see that, especially if you're watching on TV. You don't see all of the stuff that is actually happening during those times. They cut the commercials, or they have the camera somewhere else, or they're showing someone in the crowd, or they're showing, an instant replay going into a break. That's what you see, but you don't see those same things. And whether you want to say it's a problem or not a problem, I think it's a problem. In the sense of, as much as people will complain about the NBA and superstars get all the calls, and you can say the same thing about coaches in college basketball. It's just that people who like college basketball is more accepting of that, because here's what they'll say: oh, but they've earned that. Oh, okay, well, Michael Jordan didn't earn all of those benefit of the doubt calls that he received with the Bulls. You know what I mean? So it's those type of things. I think that's concerning, because college basketball, what it does not need is people conveniently ignoring when coaches do that. And it used to be Krzyzewski used to always be the one who took the brunt of that. And prior to him, it was Dean. I think it was John Feinstein's book, A March to Madness, where, they hated Dean because they felt like Dean had the ear of the officiating. Krzyzewski, Rick Barnes, couldn't stand it. And the funny thing about Krzyzewski is then he became everything that he used to say that he hated about Dean with the officials. I find that ironic. But with Danny Hurley, how about this? Officials don't have to come over there. They don't have to give you a platform. Just like in the NBA. They don't have to give a player or a coach a platform. No, they don't. Not in that sort of way. You can go and approach them, but all this other stuff after every play, no, they do not. They can just walk away. And that's the thing. Remember when Bobby Knight got so upset when he would not get preferential treatment, and he got thrown out of the game at Indiana, and he's screaming and yelling about the referee, this is the worst ref, the worst ref. No, it's just that the ref didn't want to cower down to you because you were the General Robert Montgomery Knight. So what? That didn't buy you anything. So yeah, I think what Hurley brought up is true. And the two things can be true at the same time. I do think how these coaches are manipulating is an issue. I do think that Danny Hurley is being unfairly having the spotlight put on him because he's 1,000% right. It is not just him. He's 1,000% right. It's Mark Washington, MTC Media.